I hope you are doing well. So today I am here in front of you all to start with a new chapter, that is chapter number 5, Morphology of Flowering Plants. Before starting with this chapter, I would like to give you journal introduction. So what is morphology? Morphology simply means it is the study of external parts of plants. For example, say its size, its color, its position. Next, there is one more term, that is anatomy. What is anatomy? Anatomy is the branch of science that deals with the study of internal characters of plants, generally at the microscopic level. So my next question is, what is the use of morphology? Morphology simply helps us to identify and classify the organisms. Let's take one example. If a plant bears flowers, so flowering is one of the basic property of the phylum Angiosperms. So simply we are going to classify that plant with flowers under the phylum Angiosperms. Another function of morphology, it helps us to know about the ecology and the genetics. There is one more importance of morphology. It helps us to know about the toxicity and the diseases and the various symptoms which are produced by the plant against those diseases. For example, say if a leaf changes its color from green to yellow, that means because of lack of chlorophyll. So simply means plant is giving us some symptoms to let us know that some changes are going on inside the plant. So that is generally because of morphology. Next thing I would like to discuss with you all is the main parts of flowering plants. So a plant axis is long and cylindrical. It generally consists of main two parts. One part which is present above the ground level, that is shoot system, and another is present below the ground level, that is root system. Shoot system generally consists of leaves, stem, flowers, fruits, whereas root system consists of root and root hairs, because roots helps us to absorb minerals and water for the plant. So next thing is the major organs that are present on the plant. Generally there are two types of major organs. One is vegetative and other is reproductive. Vegetative organs are basically those organs which do not participate in reproduction. For example, say leaves, stem, roots. Whereas reproductive organs are those organs that generally participate in the process of reproduction. For example, say flowers, fruits and the seeds. So next topic that I would like to start with you is leaf. Before starting with leaf, I would like to start with some general characters of leaf. So as you all know, leaf is green in color. Green is because of presence of pigment chlorophyll. So leaf is green, flattened, outgrowth from node of stem and bears an axillary bud. Here you can see in this diagram. Axillary bud is present near the node. Okay. The second property of the leaf is it bears stomata for exchange of gases. Third thing is it is major site for the transpiration and for the process of photosynthesis. So let's start with the parts of leaf. A typical leaf consists of main three parts, that is leaf base, petiole, lamina or leaf blade. So what is leaf base? So the lowermost part of the leaf is known as leaf base. So generally leaf base helps to attach this lamina with the stem through petiole. So simply what is petiole? Petiole is a cylindrical or subcylindrical stalk which helps to attach leaf base with the stem. Another function of petiole is it helps to hold the lamina and it also provides exposure to lamina so that it could get sufficient amount of light for the process of photosynthesis. Also petiole helps the lamina to flutter in the wind. Third thing is that is the lamina, that is the third part. Lamina, or you may call it leaf plate. So leaf plate is generally thin, expanding green part. So this is the main site for the process of photosynthesis. So lamina consists of midrib and the lateral veins. Sometimes you may also find out further divisions of veins which are known as veinlets, and the arrangement of veins and the veinlets is known as venation. If a leaf consists of network of veinlets or it forms a network of veinlets, then that type of venation is known as reticulate. If veins do not form any kind of network or does not consist of veinlets, then simply the venation is known as parallel.